Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wigo, and today I've got the AirPods Pro 3 and the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Let's unbox them. I don't really have a story this week. I have the AirPods Pro 2, but these are supposed to be much better at noise cancellation, etc. So I figured we'd try that out. And I'm going back to the Ultra. I had the Ultra 1, and then I went to the Series 10, 11, I don't remember the numbers. But now I'm going back to the Ultra with the Ultra 3. So let's just unbox these. Eagle-eyed viewers will say, wait, weren't you wearing the same clothes last week? Yeah, because I'm shooting this video like a minute after I finished that video because I was already up here and these came right after I got back from the Apple store getting my second phone. Let's get in there. And then I will shoot the end of this video in a week after I've played with these and tried them out and done some stuff. Let's get straight to the unboxing. Let's start with the AirPods Pro because that's not a lot there. They're just earbuds. Little peel. Designed by Apple in California. Okay, there's more booklets for this thing than there were for the iPhones. Yeah, see, we have a whole thing here about how to do them. We have the little flimsy paper with all the fine print, and another little flimsy thing with more fine print, and another little flimsy one with more fine print, and another flimsy one with more. This is probably because of the certifications they need for the hearing aid function and everything. These are all disclaimers for that kind of stuff. And here they are. Well, at least they're easy to unpeel. Not. I'm just going to tear it up. Okay. Gee, they look like AirPods, but they look smaller. For comparison, here are the AirPods Pro 2s. Now you see there's a little dot here on the front, which is the LED. No dot on the front of the new ones, but a bigger LED and brighter. They both have the USB-C connector on the bottom and a little speaker so that they can make sounds when you're looking for them. Same hinge. This case is slightly taller and slightly longer. I guess that's your lanyard connection. Basically, it's that little dot is how you can tell the cases apart. Well, and this one's slightly larger and thicker. It's bigger in all three dimensions. Not a lot, just a little bit. But here's the big difference. Here's the new ones. And here are the old ones. They look a lot alike. But you can see the little holes are in different places. The stem is slightly longer and bigger around on these. And these have the squishy silicone tips, and these have the foam. And yes, you can feel they're more substantial. And here's the big difference. The 5 sizes of tips. So it looks like these are medium, and then there's a larger, much larger one, and then small, extra small, and extra, extra small. In fact, I don't know if you can see it down in there. I'll zoom in. You probably aren't going to see it. If you, in little tiny letters, there's an L, an S, an XS, and an XXS. So if you couldn't get a good fit with the AirPod Pros 2, well, the AirPods Pro 3 give you more options, plus with the foam in the tips, it'll probably seat in there a little better. Again, we're going to test that all out this week. That'll be in the last half of the video. But these look pretty impressive. What they look like is meaningless. Oh, and don't forget, these have this little guy there, which is not on these. That's your heart rate. That's the little light that monitors your heart rate while you're exercising and stuff. Well, I guess I'll pop them on in. Oh yeah, they fit pretty well, and they're already blocking a lot of sound. So I can see why the noise cancellation is probably a little better, because these tips do more sound blocking, much more sound blocking than these tips. That'll be in the back half of the video. Right now we're just opening up and looking at them. They look nice. So those are the AirPods Pro 3. Now, let's move on to the watch. The Ultra 3. I love the packaging for the Ultra watches because it has, the outdoorsy thing. And then it has the fancy booklet. Oh, it's stiff cardboard too. And then here's the actual box, the watch and the band. This is the Ultra 3. Let's peel off this guy. And this guy. Well, that peel didn't go as well as it could have. Here's the little booklets and stuff. Oh no, this is the braided charger, watch charger. And then this is the actual watch. Yeah, it looks like my old Ultra. Although the screen is bigger, allegedly, than this watch and any other watch. Apparently it's like a couple of pixels. It's not really that much bigger. And then we have the band, which also has a little peel. This one's not coming off clean either. Their peel provider is falling down on the job. And there's the band. I got the black trail band which has little reflective threads along the edge. I'll show up in people's headlights like I'm ever out after dark and on the street. It could happen. I do love these bands. It's the same kind of band I have on here on my old watch. Goes on that side, on the top side. Slots right in, locks. Same thing on the other side. Well, now let's put them both on my wrist. So you can see it's like almost twice as thick. Stands up really tall. But as I discovered with the old Ultra, it is so durable with this titanium case that like I smashed it into things all the time. Apparently, I may have mentioned this in one of my other watch videos. When I walk down hallways where there are doors, I hit my watch on the doorknobs constantly. It's like I swing my hands right next to doorknobs. I don't know, but it happens. And when I accidentally hit it, this one doesn't even care. God, it's way thicker. And you can see the band here is like still touching my wrist right going into the watch, whereas here it goes up. So yeah, it's way thicker. But I got used to it before. I'll get used to it again. But that's what comes in the box. I'll come back next week and do the end of this video. This was only the beginning. There we go. So see, it's booted up. It wants a phone to touch it. I'm not gonna do that on camera. I will set this all up and then I'll fool around with it and then I will play with both of them. And I have two phones now. So I can have the new watch connected to the iPhone Air and I can have the old watch connected to the 17 Pro Max. So I can try them out in combinations. So I'm gonna go do that and then I'll come back a week from now and finish this video. So I'll have played with both of these for a week and I will have tested out the 3s versus the 2s and how much better they sound, if any. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some. For you, I'll be right back. For me, it's gonna be a week. I'll see you in a week.
1 week later.
So I've spent a week with the new watch and the new AirPods and they're fine. Let's get the watch out of the way because there's really not much to say. It's an Apple Watch. It's an Ultra watch. I had the Ultra 1 and the Ultra 3 is pretty much the same. It's got a little longer battery life. In fact, the battery life's been quite impressive. I'm still at 87% after 9 hours. The battery lasts longer. It has all the satellite stuff that I'll never use because I'll never be lost in the woods. But you never know, so maybe. So yeah, it's a great watch. It took me no time to get used to it again. I mean, I had the Ultra and I was used to the big heavy watch. And I kind of like big heavy watches. So if you like big heavy watches and have the money to afford one of these, then get one. The Series 11 is almost as good. So it's kind of a matter of taste. Do you like the big thick or do you like the skinny? I tried the skinny. I like the fat watch. Plus it just feels so sturdy with the titanium frame. Plus you get the extra button. I like the new band with the reflective threads in it. So my review of the Apple Watch Ultra 3, thumbs up.
It's a great watch, but I really can't tell the difference except that it's a little heavier on my wrist, but I don't even notice it. So that's my review of the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Now, let's talk about these guys. They're more interesting. So I spent a week with them, and I've been going back and forth between the two and A-B comparison and all that kind of stuff. And I gotta say, the ANC on the AirPods Pro 2 was excellent. These are better. In fact, when I put these in, it's like going scuba diving. All you can hear is your own breathing. And a funny thing I had never noticed before, when I walk around, my feet hitting the floor like sends vibrations up, and it's like I feel like a giant, boom, 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 walking around. So the ANC is better. Apple says it's twice as good, but then I saw an audio expert talking. He said, well, when you're talking about things like noise cancellation, twice as good means 3 decibels better. So it's not really a lot, but it feels like a lot. It sounds like a lot. So I'm very impressed with the noise cancellation on the new ones, although these were fine. And the other thing is, most of the features in the AirPods Pro 3 are available in software updates for this, like live translation, which I did not get a chance to try because I don't know anybody who speaks foreign languages. I probably could have figured something out. There's videos about it. Go watch somebody else do that. I will say the transparency on the AirPods Pro 3 is better than on the AirPods Pro 2. When you're using the AirPods Pro 2, it's kind of like you're hearing things through something. Whereas with this, it sounds like you're really there. The conversational awareness, well, on both of them, is phenomenal. As soon as you say something, it dials down the noise cancellation, dials down whatever music you're listening to, and you can hear what's going on. I was really impressed. Now, the person that's talking to you keeps talking. You have to say uh-huh or something every now and then, or it turns the noise cancellation back on and brings the music back up. So you can't just sit there silently while someone harangues you, which I guess if you're getting yelled at is going to be a problem because you're going to have to go uh-huh, uh-huh. Not quite that often, but you know what I mean. The battery life is phenomenal. Oh, I took the hearing test again, which I had taken with the AirPods Pro 2 when that feature was announced. And I still have little to no hearing loss. But this time, I let it do the equalization for your hearing, because I do have I'll pop up the screen, but that's like 17 in one ear and 15 in the other ear. I don't know what those numbers mean, but -10 is great hearing, and then as you get up higher, it's worse. I, again, have little or no hearing loss, but it does dial up the higher frequency when you let it compensate for your hearing loss, because I do have some loss in the high end. So it dials that up. Music sounds wonderful. I mean, it sounds great on this, but it sounds a little better on this one. These are the 3s, by the way. Which the only way you can tell is the LED here has a little dot, and over here there's no dot, but if you open it up, there's the LED. Smaller LED, not as bright. Bigger LED, brighter. The other thing is, the 3s fit my ears better. With the 2s, they fit, and they fit fairly well, but I always feel like they could fall out. I mean, they don't, they never have, but they feel a little loose. In fact, I tried third-party tips. Nothing got rid of that feeling that maybe they were going to pop out. Again, they never have. But on this, I don't get that feeling at all. Foam in the new tips inside the silicone just really makes it fit in there, and I feel like it's not going anywhere, ever. One of the things with iOS 26 is that you can now use the microphones in your AirPods when you're recording video on your phone. So here I've recorded some video, which I will show you now. So this is the selfie cam on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the audio is from the internal microphones on the phone. But wait. And now the audio is coming from the microphones in the AirPods 2, which are in my ears. And now the audio is the microphone in the AirPods Pro 3. I could tell the difference, and I think these sounded a little better than the microphone in the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is the one with the multiple studio quality microphones. So that should sound better. And maybe it did sound better to you. Audio is all a matter of taste. It's all subjective. In fact, Linus Tech Tips, Linus hates the sound of the AirPods Pro 3. He says they don't sound as good as the AirPods Pro 2. I think they sound better. Chacun a son goût, as the French say. To each his own. I'm very happy. I mean, the battery life is better. The noise cancellation is better, to me. The sound is better, again, to me. The fit is better, again, for me. Your mileage may vary, but I really like these. Oh, I did not test the heart rate thing because that would require me to exercise. And if you watch the channel, you know how much I hate that. And yes, I know I said that I'm going to the gym, and I will be going to the gym. Otherwise, my doctor's going to yell at me again. I'll let you know in a future video if these worked at the gym and helped with my heart rate. I think these are a buy. Unless you have the AirPods Pro 2, because again, they're not that much better that justifies spending another $250 if you already spent the money on these. Well, just keep using these because like the live translation feature, a lot of the features are software based. They have the same H2 chip inside, so the things that get added to this will also get added to this. So if you have the AirPods Pro 2, probably don't upgrade. But if you have older AirPods or the original Pros or AirPods 3 or any of those older ones, you might think about these. The fit, especially if you've had trouble with fit, I would try these because again, with the 5 sets of tips, all the way down to extra small, you should be able to get a good fit with these. And again, with the foam inside the silicone, they really fill up your ears. Like I said, it was like scuba diving. I could hear my own breathing. In fact, the hardest part of the hearing test was holding my breath so I could hear the very faint tones. You're supposed to tap when you hear a faint tone. And if I was breathing, I couldn't hear it because my breath was so loud in my ears. ANC was so good that all I could hear was what was inside my head. I don't know how relevant this is. I have tinnitus. I've developed it in my old age. So I always hear like locusts and kind of buzzing sounds. When I got these on and I'm listening to music, that just goes away. The AirPods Pro 3 are my cure for tinnitus. Again, for me, everything is subjective with audio. I love these. I think of all the things I bought last week, maybe the iPhone Air, but this was the best value for the money because this was only $250 and the improvements are tremendous for me. Come back next week and we'll talk about the phones. You just saw the iPhone 17 Pro Max for using the selfie camera. Wasn't that amazing? 4K 30, 18 megapixels. I think that video looked tremendous. Well, if it wasn't my face, it would have looked tremendous. Sadly, it perfectly captured the reality of my face, which is not pretty. I'm an old man. Next week, phones. I'm still leaning towards the iPhone Air, especially after Scratchgate. If you haven't watched Jerry Rig Everything's durability test on the iPhone 17 Pro, I'll link that down below. You really ought to go check it out. Apparently, this aluminum's going to scratch for reasons he will explain. I think the way he phrases it is your iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are going to get scratched, and it's not your fault. Apple prioritized design over metallurgy. Watch his video. It's actually quite interesting, especially the part about the Ceramic Shield 2. I have watched all of his durability tests over the years, and he always goes, well, it's faint at 6 and it comes at 7. And in this one, he says it's faint at 7 and it starts scratching at 8, which is very, very much better than anything that's come before. But we'll talk about that next week. For now, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time when we'll talk about the phones. Bye-bye. Now I got to go keep playing with the phones and seeing what else I can find out about them. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.